So today I'm going to talk about how I managed to get a 39% return in the stock market in 2023. Now I know technically there's a few days left and that might move a little bit, but I thought today was a good day to kind of do a overall summary of the year. I would really like it to get into the 40% because it would sound a lot better. And as well as that, if I actually did include dividends, I actually do think I would be in the 40% range, especially with some of those UK dividend stocks I hold. But at the end of the day, it's not going to move much more than that this year unless there's a crash in the last couple of days. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but hey, we've seen anything in these last 3 years. But we're going to talk about today my 39% year return, how that happened, what my thoughts are going forward and everything like that. So for you guys that have watched my videos and see the moves that I'm making every time on the YouTube channel, we keep up with that transparency. I tell you what I'm buying, what I'm selling. You see my portfolios every 3 months on the YouTube channel. If you're on Patreon, you get to see them every month on the YouTube channel. And as well as that, we've not been one of these channels that have hidden. We've had a horrible market in the last kind of couple of years and we've stayed here. We've talked about everything in the bear market. And all of a sudden, we have seen some of the YouTubers, especially the big UK YouTubers, come on the scene and say, hey, I've got this return in the stock market, even though they've not talked about stocks for the last 2 years. I mean, yeah, we're not sure if we can believe you on that one, but for you guys that have watched my channel, obviously you've been able to see every move that I've been making and how I managed to get up to this 39% return this year, which I am happy about. Now, if we go back to a year ago, one of the main reasons why I've able to achieve such a high return is because of the poor year that we had previously. The last year I actually underperformed the market for the first ever time, which wasn't good. I knew it was going to happen at some point. You can't forever outperform the market, but what I personally do is I tend to buy a lot more growth stocks. And when I buy a lot more growth stocks, if you ever do have a stock market crash, which we did have last year, the first time since 2008, when we have a stock market crash, stocks, especially growth stocks, in high interest rate environment as well. We had all the Ukraine situation, all the inflation issues, all the oil pressures. It was all coming together and it pushed the stocks down, especially them growth stocks. And for me, I underperformed the market last year, and I knew it was going to happen when we ever hit a bear market, and that's what happened. So one of the reasons why I had such a good year this year is because when you look at the market in general, the S&P's had a good year, the Nasdaq's had a good year. When we do have them sort of years, I would expect myself to then outperform the market like how I did in 2021, 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017. So when we have the bull markets, I do expect to outperform the market. If I don't outperform the market in these bull periods, there's no point me buying individual stocks. So I am happy that I have performed this well, but at the same time, I would expect me to do it, because if I don't do it, there's no point. So it does help that obviously the negative market I outperform, the positive market helps me outperform the market. But what was created in the last year was the opportunity where I did get stung massively last year, but I had all the buying opportunities. So this, in that time frame, I was able to buy a lot of stocks that I was liking, and that helped me build a good foundation to have a really good year. So when you look at like a lot of my big holdings, like DraftKings, when DraftKings is my biggest holding that has a big weighting in the portfolio, you're talking 25-30% of the portfolio. When that's having a year where the stock is up over 200+%, it's easy to see why I've outperformed the market. So that was a big thing that helps, is having a lot of opportunities to buy stocks at low prices, and then as well as that, having one of your biggest positions do really well. If you have your biggest positions do very well, when you look at the likes of Mercado Libre, for example, Meta had a fantastic year, which is a stock that I own. Even Hims and Hers has been choppy, and that's had a very good year. When you look at all these stocks, it's easy to see where that performance has kind of come from. And that leads me on to the other thing, is that in 2020, my portfolio, 2020, 2021, my portfolio was okay. 2022, it felt like my portfolio had a few stocks I didn't like in, and stocks that turned out to be bad picks. I had a good 4 or 5 stocks in my portfolio, a good 10%, 15% of the portfolio, which is okay, but I don't want that to happen all the time. I had a 10-15% of some stocks that weren't good stocks, and what I was able to do in 2022 in the bear market is to kind of remove those stocks out of the portfolio and capitalize on the ones that I'm like, okay, which stocks are financially absolutely smashing it in this time period, and we'll do it in a bull market and even in a better economy. And buying those stocks really did help me perform that well. So the combination of the other things is that the performance comes from just a general good year, having my biggest stock as a very big winner, buying the opportunities in 2022, and also being, obviously picking the right stocks has obviously helped. When we move forward now into 2024, 2025, will I continue to outperform? It depends really on the market. If we have a bull market, I would expect me to outperform the market like I've done previously. If we were to have a stock market crash, I would think once again I would outperform because that's just underperform, because that's just how the market works. If I have more exposure to individual growth stocks, I would expect to underperform the market in a stock market crash. So realistically, that depends on where the market takes us. But the good thing that I have at the moment when you look at my portfolio is that when you look at the history of bull markets, when you look at the average time frame of a bear market and how average a bear market comes around to where the average bull market happens and how long it lasts for, it always pays in the stock market to be a bull and not a bear. So by that process is that me buying these stocks, I will more than likely see these returns with us having more bull markets. And history averages tell you that we will have more bull markets, and I would expect to have good years in the stock market, and I would expect my portfolio to once again outperform the market. But it all depends what happens. But as long as I'm picking the right stocks that financially do very well, then like this year, we'll see those rewards coming in. And very quickly, like we saw so many stocks that were very low valued at very good financials can very quickly snap into very good valuations, and they start to get rewarded. And that's what we've seen, and that's what's been the key driver of the performance this year. So yeah, overall, I'm quite happy with the performance. I'm not going to lie, I would like it to be a little bit higher into that 40 range, but overall, I'll take it. And I think at the moment, the portfolio that I have been building up in the last couple of months is now well positioned. When I look at all the individual investments I have in there, I'm pretty sure most of them will carry on doing very well. And you've kind of seen the gains that have come in from only 1 year of a bull market. If we start hitting the average kind of bull markets where we start entering a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 year of a bull market, hopefully then we start seeing some of these stocks really start kicking on as well, and then hopefully the power of some of these stocks I do have at very low averages will start compounding, and the power of compounding will hopefully as well lead those gains up. So yeah, overall pretty happy. I thought I'd share this with you guys because I know sometimes a few guys ask me for the year-to-date performance, and sometimes I do forget and sometimes I don't have the time to work it out, but I thought today would be a good one to share with you guys, and hopefully you enjoy the video. If you could hit the like button if you're new around here, subscribe. I'll see you in a bit.